Hello everyone, welcome back to Sri Lankan Geek show. As usual, I am Isru and
I'm Sumudu. Welcome to the second episode of our podcast. And today the topic that we selected is about internships. So in this episode we will mainly target on internships that are provided to undergraduate students along with their degree program. And as usual we will have an open discussion. So we will talk around this topic and share our experiences onto it, so that anyone who listens this will have a better idea on what to expect and whether the internship is worth it. So that's the main topic. Isuru, do you have anything to add to that?
yeah, when you said today's episode 2,
Yeah.
I would like to recall the episode 1 because it's totally weird episode 1 because we both doesn't have any experience
Yeah,
on this.
we were rookies
But,
to this, so I think in my earlier recording there was some hissing sound from my voice recording as well. So really sorry for any for the audience. So if that got
Yeah.
in the middle of the
Yeah,
podcast.
and so even we had in analytics, like we had the audience from Netherlands as well.
Yeah.
We still don't know who's going to listen from Netherlands.
Sometimes
Maybe
it might be you using a VPN. Unknown. Yeah.
But yeah, but the VPN I have is from Singapore, not from Netherlands.
Then I think they are also real person who listen to our podcast. Yeah.
Let's hope for the best. Okay, though.
Before starting up, so to recall the previous episode, can you just give a brief on the previous episode, or shall I? What we talked about?
I think you can go ahead.
So in the first episode we mainly targeted on the IT industry, so especially in Sri Lanka. So we talked about who should get into the industry, how we should what are the prerequisites that are needed, and also we talked about how and what to do and what not to do in the IT industry, so what we should do to succeed. So along with that, we thought for the second episode it's better if we talk about internships, because I think in one of the main questions that I get from my undergraduate friends is whether we need to do this internships, whether this is worth it, or should we skip this. So that's why we thought that selecting this topic for the second episode of our podcast would be ideal because it goes along with the first episode. So now, since we recalled what we talked about in the first episode, so I think it's time to get started on this episode. So Isru, can you kickstart the episode by talking about the first option?
Yeah, exactly. So anyone who's new to this podcast, like if you have any questions which we discussed in the what Sumudu said, so you can go back to the previous episode and listen it. And now today we are going to discuss about the internship, and actually the best person that we can discuss today's topic is Sumudu, because Sumudu has done the internship very recently.
Not very recently, that was around 2 years back in 2019. And the whole thing was
compared to mine,
different.
Sumudu, it's very recently.
But the whole culture and the way we did is now different, because mostly we do our internships online now due to the current situation. But we'll try to
Sumudu.
You can go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead.
What I meant to say is we'll try to talk about our experiences, and also so my internship was special because part of my internship was it was pre-COVID. Because of that, we got the exposure to what a real working environment is in software engineering. And then I also got to experience how it is done in a remote manner. So because of that, I think I would be able to share both those experiences. I think it would be beneficial for new students who are getting into this industry. I think I interrupted the Suru in the middle of something, so you can go ahead.
Yeah. Before all of that, what? So if I tell you to define the internship, what do you say? So let's
define the internship.
Our scope to IT industry.
Yeah.
So IT internship.
So it's a bit.
What do you say?
Yeah, it's a bit difficult to explain. So since we are mainly focusing on internships that are provided during the undergraduate, so I would define it as a first-hand experience on what you are going to do in your whole lifetime. So I think that's one of the main simple explanation in a nutshell regarding what an internship is. So it provides you a taste of what you will be doing in the rest of your life. So if you don't like what you do in the internship, I think the IT industry or being a developer or a software engineer is not for you. But if you liked what you did in the internship, I think you will have a great future, a great career in the future. I think that justifies, right, what an internship is. It's a first-hand experience.
Exactly. So as an example, we all have watched movie trailers. So internship is like if it's a valuable internship, so definitely it's a trailer of the movie.
Yeah.
If the trailer is interested, you are lucky. If the trailer I don't say the others. Other way around. Okay. So Sumudu, for you, I think the internship was a mandatory. It was like a subject, no? Your degree program?
No, Isuru. So it was not mandatory. So I think now also it is not mandatory. We can skip it. So that's why that's one of the main questions I get, because since it is not mandatory, many are asking whether we should skip this and get the degree in 3 years. But it's not mandatory. But I think for the degree to be special, I think we need to complete 4 years. So in our transcript, if we completed the internship, it is saying that we completed the degree with the internship year, and also I think in the degree title we get the word sandwich. So if we skip the internship, that is not added to the degree title. And also I think from the batch after we graduated, internship was added as a module, so it is also showing up in the transcript as well. So in our transcript, in the degree title, it says maybe completed it with the internship. So I think even though it got added as a module, we can skip it. So it's not mandatory.
But anyway, like your degree program, like it's like compatible, right? It's like it supports or encourage the people to do internship.
Yeah. I think one of the key things that key advertising fact in our degree program is that internship. So I think you have seen in the advertisements made by our university. So what they promote is that you will get the internship and you will we assure you that you will get the job in this industry. So I think it's a very vital component. So I think the main reason why most of the students ask whether we should skip this is because it takes around 1 year, and most of them think that working 1 year it's like free working in like giving free labor to a company, and we won't get that. And we also need to pay the course fees for that year also. So many are thinking that it's a waste of time. We are not learning anything from the university, and we are just like working for that specific company for low salary, like low wage. So many are thinking like that. So I think that's why many of are like many ask the question on that. But generally around 95% do the internship. Around like 5% only skip this and straight away go for the finals.
So the people who are skipping this third year, like can can they do the 4th year and the internship at once? Like if the lectures are on weekends, so like do they have full-time lectures?
Actually, our degree has 2 modes, so full-time and part-time. So what I did was I did the degree full-time. So if we do it in part-time, I think the duration expands, so we can't complete it in 4 years or something like that. And also I think there is a special program called Info School that is provided by IIT. So in that we can work in the company, and automatically I think there are some agreements with the company and the campus. So while we work, the company pays our course fees. So there is something like that. And I think in our company currently there is based on the news I got, there is one student who is in second year, I think, working like that. So if we are going in that mode, we will have lectures only in the weekend, so we can do a full-time job and then go to lectures on the weekend, but the duration will be expanded than the full-time students.
Okay, so I will tell you what happened few years back when I'm doing the internship. Like in my degree program, we also have 2 options. We can do full-time on weekdays, like every year, like all the 4 years we can do weekdays full-time, or weekends part-time, but the duration will not get expanded. The same 4 year for both options. So any student who willing to do a job or willing to do an internship, they can go to the lectures on weekends, and on the weekdays they can work. But it's very tough job, because on the weekends they cover all the lectures which happen on the weekdays, like from morning 8 to night 9:30 at night. They continuously scheduling the lectures and practicals. So anyway, I had no option. When I'm doing, like, I started my internship after the first year.
So that was not an internship basically, right? It's like a full-time job you did. So
no, I did 6-month internship. Then after that 6 months, they recruited me as a full-time employee. Then I worked there while studying.
So on that, so your degree program, so based on your degree program, it's not an internship for the degree, right? So
no, there is no module, or
there is no internship in your undergrads.
I don't know about now, but few years back, no.
I think our degree always had that internship. That was one of the key selling points, as I mentioned earlier also. So
no, our in ours, like it doesn't include it. The internship is a very, like, only 1 or 2% do the internship while studying. Everyone else do the degree program and trying to get the job after completing.
So in that case, our internship is sort of a mandatory internship, because we have 1 full year devoted in our degree for that, and we don't have any academic nothing. We are given the fullest freedom to go and enjoy what is like in the IT industry. So when we are talking about this, something popped into my mind. So actually we had the session in the end of second year. So in our degree, the internship is in the 3rd year, so it's the whole 3rd year is an internship. And actually at the end of the internship, we have to submit the presentation and also a logbook and also a few documents on what we did during the internship. So when we were getting ready to the internship, so our lecturers invited seniors to come and talk to us on how they got prepared to this internship. So what one senior told us was this. So going back to the first question that you asked, so the definition of internship. So they told that this year gives us like a taste of the event, like what we can have and what the freedom we can have after we completed this degree. So it is like motivation for us to do the final years better, so that we can again go out and take part in that wonderful journey of our life. So that thing just kept popped in my mind. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it depends. Sometimes it depends about like the company and the team, the seniors that you are doing the internship. Like, to be honest, in my internship, it was kind of a nightmare for me.
Yeah, it should be, right? So since you had to do the normal modules also along with it, so I think
I meant the
work,
environment, the internship, the team, the seniors that I worked. It was a kind of a very bad experience for me. I was a little bit scared after that even continuing my job in IT industry, but eventually I get used to it.
So since we are talking about degrees and how the internship differs from degrees to degree, so as you said, the degree that you followed didn't have any internship, and the degree that I did had a whole year devoted for internships. So and in the present day, I think there are different types of internships that are provided with the undergraduate. So I have experience. So our degree had the whole third year devoted for the internship, and there are some degrees where one semester of the final year for around 6 months devoted for the internship, and there are some other degrees where we need to do the internship, but we need to attend to few lectures and do few modules along with it. So what is, based on your experience, what do you recommend? So what's the best type of internship, and where does it fit well, whether the internship should be the last thing to be done in the degree, or whether it should be in the middle? What do you think of that?
So my personal view on that is like definitely it should be in the middle of the degree program. So then otherwise, if you are planning to do the internship after the degree, so like it's not worth like, even though you get the degree, like after getting degree, if you are doing the internship, like it's not worth it, like because you commit all 4 years and like you study hard and you get the degree, and still if you are trying to understand what is IT industry and understand what you're going to do, and you are getting your pay is very low, and you will definitely get demotivated after spending 4 years. Still for 6 months and 8 months, if you are getting like only the bus fare, like it's very bad experience.
I think the question that I asked was a little bit misunderstood by you. So what I meant was, in some degrees, like the internship is the last module, something like that, the last part. So after you complete the internship, you get the degree. In that sort of a case, what you would suggest?
So you asked
not
asking whether the internship should be on third year,
something like that. So there are many differences. So different degrees of the internship in different years. So based on your experience, what does it?
So it's like this, Sumudu. So if the fourth year, if your degree program, the fourth year only including the research, so definitely third year is the best time to do the internship. If your degree program have lots of subjects and included the research on fourth year, no.
It's the other way around, right?
Like,
think.
yeah, exactly. If you
Yeah, I think most of the degree programs maybe like some of the degree programs, most of the degree programs has the research on the end, but some only has the research, so there are no other modules. I think that type of degree programs only offer the internship in the last year, so while we are doing the internship we have to do the research, I think, most of the case.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, but most of the time people like their mentality is to spend all the time to their fourth year research. They wanted to focus on the fourth year research because most of the time people think that it's the most valuable part on the degree in the degree program. So people tend to commit 100% on the research.
So that hinders the amount of exposure that we can get in the internship. So based on my experience, I think the third year was ideal for us because we were able to get an exposure to what the industries and what we fit, what's our place in the industry, so what type of technologies we would like and where we would like to work. And also in the final year, so we had few optional subjects, so based on the exposure that we got in the third year during the internship, we were able to do our selections of the modules. And also I think I got a lot from the internship that were useful for developing the prototype in my final year project. So I think it was beneficial to have it in the third year.
Yes, exactly. So I think it supports to select the research the experience.
And also since we have that small break, if we were to do a career change, like if we were not satisfied with what we did in the internship, I think we can improve ourselves and switch to another branch of the IT industry, because we have that small 1 year gap. If not, like if the internship is the last thing that we do in our degree, like we would be forced to keep working on that same path without giving the opportunity for us to switch. I think that also for that reason also, I think having the internship in the middle of the degree is good.
Yeah. So like according to your experience, do you think like what's the best time period for the internship? Like because some degree programs they allow on 6 months. Some like now your degree program, it's 1 year. So what do you think?
So on that, so I have, I think, a lot to talk on this. So
2 days your days. Please go ahead.
So I think, actually this must be biased because the degree that I had offered the 1 year internship, so I'm talking on based on that experience. I think 1 year should be the time period for an internship, because in the first month actually, so based on my experience, so I went to a very active working environment, so many features were developed and they were deployed in the next week. Like we developed today and in the next week it is going to production, so that was a very active and developing environment. So during the first month I was like bamboozled. So in the meetings I was like the meme that we have, confused. So that 1 month was a very like stressful month, because I always wanted to understand everything very quickly as we can, and also to know what happens from start to end. But since this is a very complex environment and complex system that we're talking about, it was very difficult to get a grip on what is happening. So actually one true incident that we faced was adapting to the culture and the nature of the company. So and also the new standards that we use in this software industry. So on the first day we had a few KTs. So the KTs were supposed to introduce us to the team. So actually I and my friend was wondering, the HR came to us and said, you will be having few KTs, so stay in the boardroom. So I and my friends discussed, what the hell is she talking about? What is this KT? What is the meaning of KT? So we had no idea of what KT means, and then we Google search, and then we got to know that it is called knowledge transition. So that's what we are going to do. So at the first time we were like afraid, what the hell is this KT? So we are, on the first day we don't know anything, we don't know anyone, no one to ask. So I think my whole 1 month of the internship was something like that. So after the 1 month I got to know about the terms that we use in the industry. So we got to know the management software that is used to assign tasks and to monitor the task, and also I got to know an overall understanding of the domain that is handled by our team. And I think so that 1 month is will be spent. So in internship, that first 1 month will be spent to get to know of the working environment, and then only in the second month and third month you will get few tasks related to it, and those tasks will be very minor and they might not have a great impact on on features that the company is your team is developing. So like in the based on my experience, in like second and third months I got to got few tickets and got to develop few features, but they were not major features. And also in the first part of the second month, when I went to the stand-ups, I felt like I'm some sort of a parasite that's on this team, because I don't have any contributions, I don't have anything to say. I'm just every day I'm saying, okay, I'm looking into this KT videos, I'm learning on this language, and what others are saying is they are talking about very huge features and they are developing very huge things and they are talking about releases. So at the end of the second month, I got the feeling that I am also a contributor and I am a part of this team. So since I got a few tasks, and eventually the capacity that I can do, and also the capacity of the tickets that were assigned to me got larger, and at the end of so it kept growing until around 6 months. So I think at the 6 month point I got the feeling that I am also working as a software engineer. So I actually forgot that I am an intern in the team, and also the team also started to treat me as a full-time employee. So they gave responsibilities, and I think usually in normal software engineering jobs also the probation time is around 6 months. So I think that's the period of time where you get to know the working culture and get to know of the technologies that we are working, and also get a good exposure on the domain that we are working. So I think when I hit the 6 month point, I had a solid understanding of what is happening and what every service is doing. And after the 6 month period, I got major features to work on. So I was assigned to major features and the team relied on me. So then I got the feeling that okay, I am also a key player in this team, and I felt like what it is like to be a software engineer and what my future would be. So, and from the 6 month onward, I also got the opportunity to teach the new full-time employees that are joining to the team as well, teach them about the domain knowledge and introduce to the technologies that they use. And so I think based on my experience and my internship, the most wonderful time and the most number of contributions that I did was in between the 6 month point and the 1 year point. So at the end of my internship, I think I was able to have at least one Git commit to all the services that are developed by our team, and also to develop around 3 to 4 major microservices that are still used in the production environment. So I think in order to get that whole experience, whole exposure on what is it like to be a software engineer, I think we need to have that 1 year internship. at around 6 months you get the whole understanding of what the domain is and what the technologies are. So you get the feeling that you know something in the team, but you won't be able to take use of that knowledge and put it into the practice so that you can contribute to the team and show colors to the team that you are capable of doing it. But if you have that 1 year period, I think you will be able to contribute to the team and also show what you are capable of, and also to experience to identify what you are capable for yourself. And I think at the end of that 1 year period, the team will not let you go actually if you do it correctly. So based on my story, I think to get the most out of the internship, it should be 12 months. I think 6 months is optimal, but less than that I think it's no use. So based on my experience, either it should be 6 or in between 12. What is your idea on that?
Yeah, exactly. So to whoever listen this, I should add these conditions to what Sumudu said. So
it depends on the team, I think.
What Sumudu so what Sumudu meant, the active team, he assigned to one of the active team, one of the company, like it was like active in extraordinary, like that's a very big development happened at that company, because the company was a startup and they rushed to develop a lot of features in a very short time period. So at that time I think Sumudu came to the picture as an intern. And I must say, so Sumudu, when you say you like get the idea about how you need to work and what are the terms within 1 or 2 months, definitely for other people it will take 3 months or 4 months. So your brain is not normal. Not normal. So anyone who listen to this, so definitely it will take around 3 to 4 months to learn the terms and learn the work environment, learn the technologies and everything, and how should you work in a team. Definitely it will take around 4 months. So some extraordinary persons like Sumudu will take 2 months.
I meant not whole technology stack and stuff. I meant the stuff that we use day to day, like what is a stand-up, what is retro, what is sprint planning. So it's a lot to take in actually when you are first exposed to it.
So anyway, Sumudu, you were lucky because you had the opportunity to develop and like. Because in some teams they never let the interns to develop like their core features, so like they always keep the intern out of their circle, like they are giving very minor tasks to the interns. In that case you were very lucky.
So based on what you meant, so even if the intern is there for more than 6 months, don't they rely on him? So I thought if you are around for more than 6 months, I think we are mature enough to work on core services. So in some teams
it's like this,
they are still regarding you as the intern even though you are there for a long period.
In some companies, Sumudu, the management themselves, like they restricted interns to get involved their main like, because but most of the companies, if the intern is going to work for over 6 months or around 1 year, they will take the interns into the team and work with interns. But when an intern will work for only 3 months or 6 months, definitely they will keep out of the main circle. So I think the most recent experience that we both had in our team. Like there was an intern came from I think from Polonnaruwa. So our management, like even when we coordinate the task and we break down the task, like we were restricted to give him some responsibility since he's like we have the mentality that he will leave on 6 months, then the responsibility.
I think his internship was 5 months, I think. So
yes, 5 months, yes. Because of this COVID, it was extended to 6 months. Right?
So is it the same in all sorts of companies? So actually we are working on a product-based company, so we don't have any clients. But as based on my knowledge, there are a few like in companies where they work for clients, where there are projects where the whole client project only expands for around 3 months. So don't you think that interns can play a major role in such sort of an environment? Because the whole project will only last for 3 months, so if the intern is there for 6 months, then he can fully take part in it. Yes.
So I will tell my experience. So previously, before coming to this product-based company, I worked in the my previous company was like it's project.
I think it's one of the like main project-based companies, right? I think you are responsible if there are any bugs in the parliamentary system.
Shush, those are secrets.
Parliamentary system in London, not in Sri Lanka. So no problem.
London. So in this project-based company, so previously there were no any internship programs in our company. But later, we took some interns from NSB. As I remember, 2 interns. So then the management realized taking interns into the team is like very profitable. Because they work with us, NSBM also, like those 2 interns work with us for 1 year. So after first 4-5 months, like they worked as full-time employees, like you said. Like so the management realized that it's a kind of profitable way that this intern program should like expand. So then the next few years they recruited I think 6 interns from Moratuwa IT faculty. Like they all are assigned like their mentor was me, unfortunately. So as usual, after first 3 to 4 months, they used to work as normal employees. So then the management tries to like remove the senior persons from some project teams and put all interns, and they try to complete the projects
with only interns.
With only interns. So, but do you have any idea what happened at the end?
I think it's better if you tell the whole story.
So they were like carrying out the project. So actually the management time to time they like revise their work, but they didn't thoroughly go through what they are doing, and there were no any checkpoints throughout the project timelines. So at the end, when the deadline is let's say now after 2 weeks, the deadline is within 2 weeks. Now now we are going to revise the work thoroughly. So when we look at the work they have done, the project like they have completed 80% of the task, like they have completed, but they were not up to that standard. Like when we deploy the project, there were a lot of issues when we are deploying the project as well. And there were a lot of performance issues, there were a lot of client complaints. I think we had to spend the same amount of time that we develop the project to debug and to do the bug fixes. Like they after the what I wanted to point out is, like we cannot rely on interns on projects. We have, because they are people who came to the company to learn, not to work as full-time employees. So definitely there should be some guidance, and there should be some experienced person in the team to guide them. So without that, they will work as students. Like they will try out things, and after the experimenting they will only learn. So
I think that's the main purpose of it. So
some people misunderstood this internship because
so
when they see some benefits. That's it.
So when I mentioned earlier that during my internship I was able to build few services on my own. So during that time also we had thorough checks with our technical owners. So like we were not on our own, but even though we were treated as full-time employees, we were under the guidance of an experienced technical owner. So because of that, we actually, even though we built our own systems, we were able to get a lot from it, because we got the idea of how to build something from scratch and why we are doing this. So when we like work on an existing project, we don't know what will happen when we start the project, what is happening when we stop the project, start the service and stop the service. So we only know like this endpoint does this and this function does this. But since I got the opportunity to build projects from scratch and to be there from the project building lifecycle from A to Z under the guidance, so actually I got the opportunity to learn a lot of the reasons why we do this. I think that guidance is one of the key things needed in an internship. So so
true.
when you were talking about project-based and client-based projects, so actually I think we need to talk this in another episode. So briefly, can you explain, this is a little bit out of the internship topic, so briefly can you explain the different experience what you got working on client-based companies and also product-based companies? So like briefly, is it good? What is better? So
so it depends. Like some product-based company behave like a project-based company, because in some products they wanted to improve their product very quickly, and like they wanted to introduce new features, they wanted to expand the customer base. Like in that case there are no much difference between project-based and product-based. There are some product-based company, like they already develop like more than what they expected. They just want to maintain what they have built. So in that case there is a huge difference between a project-based and the product-based, because in only you are maintaining the system. So there are no any development.
So based on my experience, like what I got from working, so in our company nature, so we only we work with a defined set of tools, so we don't go beyond that scope. like in a client-based company, so based on the client's requirement, the technology stack changes from one project to one project, is it? Or if you are like focusing on a set of technologies, you always try to cater the client's requirement using that set of tech stacks, is it? Or
yeah, so it's like this, Sudhu. So in project-based companies, now most of the time we have very limited number of people for a team. So when the client, when there are any requirement from the client, as you said, first of all, like definitely there will be a very like it's a very time critical, because not like product based, like in product based, like we can plan it out and do the developments, but in project based, client comes to the picture and I want this in 3 months. So we have to develop the system within the 3 months, otherwise the business is the management is not happy. So
we are like
we have
to work on the tech stack that we experienced of rather than experimenting on that.
Yes, most of the time, yeah. So since if the project is very time critical, if the project is like high risk, so we most of the time we are using our comfortable technologies. We are not trying to do some experiments on other technologies and find out what is best. So sometimes even though because I have experience in one of my previous company, so one project we tried to use Node.js. We, in the sense, like I tried to develop the project using Node.js. So there are 3 people assigned to me, and altogether there are 4 developers. So I suggest the developers to let's learn Node.js and let's develop this the backend using Node.js. So they were also interested in learning Node.js and developing Node.js, because they are Java developers. So they also wanted to try some new thing other than Java. So when we are doing these Node.js, like we came across different errors like we were not used to have before, and there were a lot of difficulties while we are developing and going through the project. So in the end, we didn't reach the deadlines. There were some things that we missed when we are coming to the deadline, so we had to request from the client to extend the deadlines to complete all the features. Management I understood this because of selecting a new technology, and there was a learning curve. So because of this learning curve, the project had to extend. So extending a project, the timeline, like it's a loss for the business. So from coming projects, they were hesitant. Yeah, they were not comfortable, even though we requested to use different technologies. They were reluctant to do that.
I think we can continue this discussion on this topic later in a later episode. So I think on the different types of the companies, so I think mainly the culture, the environment, I think mainly differs rather than the technologies. And I think based on what you said, product-based companies care about the technologies that they use to develop the product. So I think if you're working on that, we get more time to experiment on things rather than on clients. So actually the client doesn't care whether it is written in the latest and the fastest programming language that is existing. So they just want their requirements to be fulfilled, I think. So let's continue that on another episode. Yeah, let's come back to about internships. So one question that popped to my mind. So as you mentioned, the internship depends on the company and the team that you are assigned to. So for some it might not be an interesting journey. For some it might be one of their key points in their life. So what are the factors that contributes to whether the internship being an interesting internship or whether it is not? So
So it's like this. So before answering that question, I will come back with another question. So what are the bad experience you had when you are doing your internship?
Actually, nothing like me comes right onto my mind. So actually, it was mostly good stuff.
Dream come true,
yeah. But yeah. So the thing is, like my internship, my future career was based on the experience that I got in my internship. So I think if I got a chance to work in a different company, I would have learned a different set of technologies, and I would be working on a different path. So that was the I think internship is that kickstart to our journey in the IT industry. And actually nothing nothing comes to my mind that need to mention here about anything bad. So I had a good time during the internship. Yeah.
You're a really lucky person. So I will put that like this. So mainly I think my experience is like my personal view is like time period of the internship is very major factor for the experience you are like whether it's positive or negative, like because if the internship is 3 months, definitely after the internship you will get confused. You don't know what
we don't know what we can do, what we are capable of, nothing. So exactly. we just learned a bunch of keywords that has no use in our career, because we obviously we start to work in another company, and then that company has a different set of culture, so again we'll have to start from zero.
So you are getting out of the internship with a very confused mind, because you face the confused part.
Only the confused part. Confused bunga bunga part, not the other part of the movie.
Exactly. So and the other thing is like the other major factor is the team and the mentor means like the person who guides you. If the team doesn't friendly enough to support you when you're having troubles, and the mentor is like very hard to reach, your internship will be a very bad experience.
So
go ahead.
Pointing on that, so I think I was like very lucky actually. So actually I got a very good mentor, and also there were some like interns who didn't get much work. So actually I think the mentor that I had actually understood what I'm capable of, and allowed me to freely work on that area on my own pace. So actually he had a great like plan on how to get us know about the domain. So the first main task that we got was to develop a Swagger API documentation. Actually I got this after like around 1 week after I start my internship in the new sprint that we got into, and this did not have any impact to features, and this was not used, and this is not a dependable thing, the writing Swagger APIs, but actually that allowed us to go through each and every service that the team works on, and get a overall abstract understanding of how the microservices are written, how they expose the APIs, and what those APIs do, and what are the standards on returning errors. So actually that was the first task. So actually it was more of a learning than a task. So there was no requirement to write Swagger API documents because all those microservices were internally used ones. So I think that gave us a great understanding on the overall picture. So I think for the internship to be successful, luck also plays a major role. So if I didn't have that sort of a mentor and that sort of an idea guidance, I won't be able to identify my true capabilities in this industry. So
Exactly. I wanted to add something like if you are like assigned to a team, if you are the only intern, you have to take all the things and you don't have someone to share your the day-to-day like the things. If you have a friend with you as an intern, so definitely that would be a very helpful factor because you two can discuss and you two can have a small intern discussion within the main team.
I think in that case also I got lucky because when I was assigned to the team that I worked in, along with me, another intern from Morato also got assigned. So and also since we were working physically, so we had that open office culture. So all the teams were working on open spaces, and one of my best friend was working in the other team. So during our internship, most of the time we while we working and once we did some task we used to have chit chats, and also we went to lunch together. So we got that opportunity to share what that team is working on, what is the technologies that they are working on, what we are working on, and the differences. So actually having a friend to talk about the intern experience also plays a key point because we are able to share what we learned, and also actually as a newcomer to the team we face many problems, so we don't have access to all the resources. So if the other intern has that access, he can guide me through it. So that is very useful because if not, we'll have to always go to the mentor and budge him to tell us how to do this, and they will also get frustrated because they will start to think that this fellow doesn't know anything and I have to teach them from step by step. So actually the key thing that you pointed is very important, to have a good friend along with us in the ride.
So actually you are lucky, when you are doing the internship you had the open office culture, but most of the time now due to this COVID pandemic and
now fuel crisis, dollar crisis.
fuel we the internships are getting sucked because the interns doesn't have anyone to talk, or they were very left alone.
There are two things in both ways we can argue because we don't have any past to talk about, but when I one of the key thing that made my first month very difficult was I am focused on watching a video, but the people around me are working on stuff and they are talking about stuff. They are talking about production issues. They are looking into Grafana dashboards. I don't know. So I'm I was thinking am I not suitable for this job because I don't know anything. I am just watching a YouTube video that one of the mentors suggested me. So so that kind of mental I got out of it. But now since we are working from home, we can just learn on our own pace. But we missed that action, I think, that production issue action side. If you are working in a open environment, we see the CTO running through the office telling that this size is down, please come. That exposure is not there currently.
seeing others in action, like it kind of motivates you to be like that. Now, working from home, like they only comes to the, like if the company has the agile methodology, like they only comes to the stand up and they got the task for a sprint and they're working on it. When they have troubles, they talk to the seniors, and they don't get the whole exposure. So it's a few negative things of this working from home culture.
I think when that live action part is actually very important, because it makes us interested to work in this environment. Because now, even if we have a major production breakdown, we only join to a call and dismiss that, and the other people who are around doesn't get the feeling of
doesn't know what
happened, and also the feeling that we get when we resolve a production issue and get the system up.
Exactly.
So adding on to that, do you think will we go back to the open office working culture back physically, or will this be the new normal in the IT industry, working from home?
So I don't have a concrete answer to that, because now the company that we both of us are working, like they motivate to do working from home. They kind of seeing a lot of benefits of it, but the company that my girlfriend is working on, they
motivate
always wanted to
come physically.
People into the office. So
that depends on the
but the problem is even I can't understand the why what are the main reasons behind that, because it's a foreign company. I thought working from home culture, it suits best for the foreign countries, not the Sri Lanka. But the company that I told you, it's a forein company, and they wanted people to be in the office when they are working. Actually, we are we are at the internship level when we are talking this working from home culture, because we also started few years back. So we'll see, after 3 or 4 years, definitely we will have a concrete answer for your question.
I saw in one YouTube video he was working in Seattle, so in that company also it's a hybrid sort of thing. If you want, you can come to the company, if not, you can work from home. I think that will be the new normal.
It could be, but when it so since we talked about these project-based companies, I don't see a hybrid solution would work for a project-based company, because if 4 people working on the same project, definitely they should sync up every time. So even though 2 people are coming to the office, they have to remotely work with the other 2. So
I think it's better if we get another episode for this. So we got 2 new topics to talk on. So one is this, and one is on what are the differences on the product and a project-based company. And one last question on the today's topic that we are talking. So if you are an intern and if you felt like you are not in sync with the team, and you are not a part of the team, and also the work that you are doing is not interesting, and you want other sorts of work to do, if that is your passion, can a student as an intern raise their voice and request different types of tasks to do, and request more involvement in the team? Is it possible, or we'll have to just work on the task that they assign us? What's your idea on that?
It depends on your team. I have an experience in the previous company. There were a lot of interns worked reported directly to me. So there were some interns that came to me and asked that I would like to work this kind of project, and I would like to work on this database level. Like they requested and they gave the feedback of what they are currently doing, whether they are like they are interested or not interested. So depend on that, when we are assigning new tasks to them, like we are considering their requirement. So there is a possibility, but it depends on the team.
Yeah, so I think that was an insightful answer. So I think today we were able to cover most of the areas that a person as an undergraduate has regarding choosing when they are choosing to do an internship. So, and few times as usual, we went off the topic, and also we found out new topics to talk on in our coming episodes. I think it's time for us to conclude this episode. If not, we'll talk and it will be around 4 to 5 hours.
We have to post a song middle of our podcast, because it will get for the listeners otherwise. If we are planning to continue this for more than 1 hour,
I think even though we talked for around 1 hour, we only touched a small part of what the intern experience is. So we have more to talk on this as well. So we'll try to squeeze them into the new episodes that we are planning to release. And also, I think we are going to release a new episode each week, right? So we are trying our best to do that.
Yes.
I think we can wrap
so
this.
So the Friday night is our podcast night for now.
And actually we are still rookies at that. Because of that, there may be some inconsistencies in the sound and noises can come into the podcast, so bear with us for that. I think we can wrap it.
Okay. So thank you everyone.
Thank you for listening, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
Bye.
Have a great weekend.
Bye.